Sahana bhavatu Sahano bhunaktu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Yogena Chittasya Padena Vajam Alam Sharirasya Javaidhyagena Yopakarotam Pravaram Muninam Patanjalim Patanjalim Pranjaliranatosmi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Sadguru Maharaj ki jai. Om Namah Shivaya. The modifications of Chitta when the modifications are restrained, what is the experience of the experiencer? The observer who was there, now what happened to him? He was observing, he was seeing the functions one after another, and now the functions are not there. So now what happened to that observer, the seer? So that is the third sutra, now going to start. From a single thought, you can understand all the functions, modifications of the chitta, what we studied yesterday. So we were analyzing the thought of a flower. From that single thought, we can catch all the functions. So this is one thing you have to remember here. When we say vritti consists of all the functions or chitta's modification. From a single thought, when you operate it, when you divide it, you will get all the functions from that. This way, each thought has these functions in that. Normally, we only see the object in thought. We are not aware about the other factors of the thought. When an object comes to our mind, we say, I know. This much function we know. But here, we are going to travel in that sphere of mind, or rather we can say, all study of this Patanjala Darshana. We are going to contemplate on this level of mind. Only sometimes we need outside objects. This is completely inward. So these functions are distinguished each other with the definitions. So now we defined it one another. Yesterday we tried to understand that more. So with these definitions, when you try to understand what is happening inside, from each thought, so you practice this for some time, taking one thought process and try to understand how it develops, how it comes to existence, and how it ceases off. Then you will clearly understand what is happening and what Patanjala Yoga Darshana is talking about. When we say these are the levels of mind, it doesn't mean there are parts in that. No parts. It's a functional understanding. I think you are getting this difference of functional understanding and division in parts. Because we have a limitation of language, sometimes you have to use the division, parts and stuff, stages, realms, all these words. Actually, these are the functions. When we say functions, like you are sitting in a asana, you are sitting for meditation. Now you are sitting for listening to the lectures. So this sitting is a single function. All right? It is single function that you are sitting. Now you try to understand what this sitting means. How this sitting happens. Then you know how many muscles are working for that, how much energy you are using for that, how you are concentrated, how you are interested to sit in a posture, where, in which part of the body there is strain, which part of the body is relaxed. So when you analyze even this single posture of sitting, you will get many developments there. The first thing, there is a desire, there is a will to sit. Without that, it is not possible. Then, the sitting is happening, and now you decided to sit for 1 hour. So that is also happening. So you are aware about that. I am sitting for this purpose. The purpose is also there. So this way, when you take one incident, one thing, inside that there is functional differences. These all functions consist as sitting. So when I say sitting, these functions are there. The same way, here also, when one thought arises in your mind, the thought consists all these functions. There is samskara connected, vasanas, intellect, memory, and mind. If it's outside, it is connected to outside, then there is object also. Then sense organs. So this way, when you analyze, it is very easy to control. You know where to stop. It is easy to control. So now we go further. Here, the chitta, the functions of chitta we have understood. Now, who is the observer? Who is seeing all these functions? Who wants samadhi? Who is the practitioner? Is chitta is the practitioner? No. Body is the practitioner? No. The knowledge you gained is the practitioner? No. Then who is the practitioner? Who wants to practice something else? Something behind these functions of chitta. Did you slept yesterday well? Huh? No? Yes? Okay. So what was the observation? You could understand something from the sleep? So, in the sleep, you are there. And you are sleeping. You are enjoying the sleep. But there is no mind, no functional chitta there. Chitta is there, but it is not functional. Inactive. So one who sleeps, he enjoys the sleeping and he observes that he is without an object. He is not seeing anything. He is not perceiving anything in that sleep. That is a correct observation. Now, without all this, mind, intellect, ego, who is there to enjoy? That is our core existence. What is there is our core existence. That is what we are. So the observer is separate from the observed, the object. The seer is different from the seen. Now this all the functions of the chitta is seen, is an object. And seer is seeing that. Now, when there is absence of object, also he is there. Because there is no object, the seeing process is not there. The light is there. If object is in front of light, it is reflecting the object. Otherwise, light is there. So this is what is happening in our sleep experience. The observer is still there with its nature, but the functions are not there, the objects are not there, so it is not seen. Naturally, it went into sleep. Naturally, the object cease off. So, cessation of objects seems to be absence of the observer. But the observer is still there. Now, here the question arises, because we have to put some question why we want to analyze this stage this deeply. What is the purpose of that? In our day-to-day life, what we say as experience, knowledge, emotions, feelings, these are all connected to mind, chitta, nothing else. We have no connection with the seer. We have emotions in our minds. There is no emotion in the seer. We have emotions outside connected objects, with outside connected objects. Not inwardly, there is an emotion. Emotion is produced in the mind, and emotion is experienced in the mind. Mind is acting on emotion and reacting on emotion. Everything happens in the mind. We are observing it. Now, when this mind stops, does we remain the same or not? The receiver is there or not? Yes, the receiver is still there. And if receiver is there, is he conscious or unconscious? The next question. The receiver is there. Is he conscious? He knows something, or he is unconscious? Remember the sleep. The deep sleep, you were there. You were conscious or unconscious? Unconscious. Unconscious state. Sleep is unconscious state. You were there but unconscious. Correct. Now, if you are unconscious in deep sleep, what was your nature there? What was you then? If you say in deep sleep, I was unconscious, then how is your, what is your assistance there? How you assisted there? Because there is no awareness, there is no consciousness, there is no activity of mind, knowing, perceiving, nothing is there, no dreams, no emotions. Then how was that? Any answer? No. It is uncertain. Is it uncertain? Uncertain. No, it is not uncertain. If I ask, yesterday you were unconscious completely, you were there or not? You say, I was there. So this is the certainty. Because you are not experiencing your absence. You can clearly say with confidence, I was there, I was not dead. Nobody says, after waking up, yesterday night I slept well, I dead. It is not the experience. The experience says, we are there with full existence, complete existence. Now these two are different. You are unconscious and then you are there. And that you know you were there. Are you getting me? One point is unconscious. No, just wait. Coming to the point, because this is very in our experience. We are unconscious there, and then we say we are not dead. It means our existence is proved by our experience. So we are unconscious in one point. Another point is that we are there. That is our experience. It's not our experience. We are not talking about something else. So it means, while unconscious also, you exist. That is proved, no? You are unconscious and you exist, and your experience is proved that your absence is not experienced, your presence is experienced even in deep sleep. This statement is correct, no? Okay. Now, here I want to show you one thing. That is why I brought here. Now exactly in the correct place we reached. Here is the problem with the word consciousness. In English, what we use as consciousness, here there is no connection with that word. That is why the word consciousness in English is totally wrong with these philosophical terms. That is why you say, because from the language you understand what is consciousness, what is unconsciousness, is not fit with this experience. It is not connecting this experience. It's totally out of that. Okay. So this word consciousness, what we understand in English, if you use that, you are right that you are unconscious in deep sleep. That is right. Everybody says that we are unconscious. Then there is no knowledge. But then what about the experience that you say I was there? is knowledge or not? What it is? It is knowledge. There is no doubt. Because without knowing, you cannot declare, without knowing, you cannot prove that I was there. And without doubt, you say, there is no doubt. So then what does it mean? This is the stage of self. That is the potential state of consciousness. In English, the word used as consciousness in the objective sense. When there is object, you know something, then the mind is active, the brain waves are there, then you say, I am conscious. The word consciousness is related to object. And when there is no object, no process of consciousness, you say it is unconscious. Even when we are medically unconscious, we are not really unconscious. We are conscious. But beyond this definition of consciousness. Okay. That is why to study this darshana, this philosophy of yoga darshana, we have to change the meaning of consciousness into the potential state of consciousness. Then you will get the meaning. So the unconsciousness is not at all experienced in self. Self cannot be unconscious. Self is ever conscious. Why I say this? If self is not conscious, then you cannot prove that you existed, because the existence is proved by the knower. If you don't know, how can you say something exists? Even outside things, if you have not known, you cannot say that it exists. What is known for you, it exists. What is not known for you it is not existing. So it means, if you are experiencing the existence of yourself in deep sleep, certainly the consciousness is there. In absence of consciousness, the existence cannot be proved. That this experience itself shows. Now I think you have understood the meaning of third sutra, this sutra we are discussing. So when the functions of chitta cease off, then tada, in that stage, drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam, the seer, the observer, is still there in his own nature, the essential nature, the swarupe avasthan. It may be for a moment, because the samprajñāda samadhi, in the beginning, it happens, asamprajñāda samadhi, it happens only for a moment. That we will see later when we discuss about the manifestation of modifications in asamprajñāda samadhi. So in that moment, the seer, the observer, who as the practitioner, the sadhaka, as his consciousness, He is there in his own nature. He cannot go out. In deep sleep also the same thing happens. In deep sleep, there is no thought process, but we are there within us. We are there with our nature. This is what Upanishads also say. So, tada drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam. Avasthanam. The avasthanam means staying there, resting its own nature. And this is not happening with any effort. This is autonomous. It happens its own. Because the seer never changed its nature. Seer was always a seer. Seer was autonomously a seer. There was no effect or no changes in the seer. So why I say this? Because when we think about ourselves, we want always a change. Have you noticed this? Now you came for this Patanjala Yoga Sutra section. Why you know? Then you must know that. You want a change. You want to study more or do more or something. So after completing TTC, you are interested to do ATTC, then you are now interested to study Yoga Sutra. You want something more. You want to gain something more, practice more. So this thinking of more shows that you want a change. Now where you want a change? You want a change in your practice. You want a change in your behavior. You want a change in your attitude. You want a change in your reactions and actions. Totally, you want a change in your mind. That is all. You do not want to change yourself. You want to change yourself? Yourself means now you are a human being. You want to change yourself means you want to change yourself to a monkey, or you want to change yourself to a god or something. No. Even in this stage, that is the thing. You want to change all other things, but you cannot change yourself. You have never experienced your change. You were there in the stage of childhood. You were there as a boy or girl studying in the schools. Now you are here. So the same person continues. And this seer is not affected with outside things. Now what is the problem is, the changes are happening in our minds, but we superimpose these changes in seer. That is what is happening. The mind changes, you say, I changed. Am I right? We say this. That is our experience. And intellect get more knowledge, we say, yes, I studied this, now I am a scholar. So we attribute these experiences to the seer. Actually, seer is not affected with all these things. So that is why drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam. When there is no function in the mind, the seer stays with himself. Avasthanam. Now, here two words, especially one is swarupa and second is avasthanam. I'll just explain the differences with this. Then we will take up the note. We have already given the note. You say, what is swarupa? Swarupa means, it is translated as true nature. True nature. And then, what is one's true nature? What is the nature? When we say nature, what is the nature of fire? Heat. What is the nature of water? It is cold. So, it is correct. The nature of fire is heat. And the nature of fire is light also. Huh? Actually, the nature of fire is heat only. Light is optional. Because without light also, the heat is there. Without light also, the fire is there. When we say fire, the fire is there in the gas stove, in the kitchen. Outside we put fire. So that is fire, but fire is there in the vessel in which we cook. That vessel is heated. Now the heat is there, fire is there. But light is not there. Vessel can burn the hands. If you touch it, it may burn. But light is not there. So now we can say where there is fire, there is heat. Or where there is heat, we call it fire. Is it okay? Is it correct? Okay. So heat is fire's nature. Its own true nature. It cannot change it. And for fire, it doesn't need any outside help to produce heat. Fire itself is heat. It doesn't need any other support to produce. So in that case, we say it is the nature of one thing if it stays without the support of other elements, then that is its nature. If it is supported and produced and changed, then that is not the nature of thing. Essential nature will not change. That the essential nature is called Swarupa. Now we have to find out what is our essential nature. We have half an hour to find out that, because everything we have to do shortly. So what is our essential nature? Like fire's essential nature is heat. It's always with heat. Now what is our essential nature? You know? Try to find out. Very simple. Because you are there, you are there with that essential nature. You cannot be devoid of essential nature. You are there with that. So what is your essential nature? Take one by one, because he wants to take us to that point, and then only we understand what is the asamprajnata is. Asamprajnata is not only cessation of the thoughts, but something else. Like yesterday we analyzed the sleep. Sleep is just enjoyed that sleep, but something else is there to understand from sleep. So, data drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam, it is in its nature when he says what happened, what is the nature of that swarupa, what is the nature of the self. Then he says, he adds one more word there, avasthanam. Avasthanam means staying, existing in that level. And then when the last sutra of Yoga Sutra will say, Swarupa Pradishthacha Purusharthanam Purusharthahinanam Gunanam Pradiprasavaha Swarupa Pradishtava Chidishaktiriti. There he uses the word Swarupa Pradishtha. Here he says avasthanam, swarupe avasthanam. There is slight difference. This stage is not kaivalya. Normally this sutra is translated, this stage is as a kaivalya. No, this is not kaivalya. Why? Because here he uses Swarupe avasthanam. He stays there for a while, that is all. When there are no thoughts, no functions of mind, he stays in his essential nature. That's all. But after some time, will come out of that stage. It is not stable, it is unstable, unsteady. For a while you get into that stage, then you come out of that. Like you go to deep sleep for a while, then come out. The same thing happened here also. But in that, the last stage, there is the Swarupa Pradishtha. The word used there is not avasthanam, but Pradishtha. In Sanskrit, Pradishtha and avasthanam, both the words are derived from the root stha, that to stay. But when we say Pradishtha, it is without a change, it is ever steady, motionless stage of that is called Pradishtha. We installed the statue in the temple, we call it Pradishtha. It means it is motionless, it stays there, it is always there. We won't say sthiti. Sthiti is something different. Sthiti can be changed. It is also staying, but sthiti is changeable. But pradishtha is unchangeable. There he uses the word pradishtha, swarupe pradishtha. Now he is established in that stage. There is no change. So that stage is called kaivalya. This is just a glimpse of Kaivalya. Just you have the reflection of Kaivalya, that is all. Like deep sleep is an example for Kaivalya. The same thing happened. Here you get a reflection of Kaivalya. It is something like this. That is avasthana. Now, what is Swarupa? We have to do some meditation to find out what is our Swarupa is. So now I just try to make you understand what the word essential nature means is. Essential nature means in all condition it should remain in its nature without any outside support. Anapayitvam sarupatvam. It should not change. That is one thing. Other thing is what we practice after a long time practice. The one practice will be a habit. Now we have another nature, habitual nature. Habitual nature. Even we say, I am a human being. We say we are all human beings. We have no doubt about it. But this is not our essential nature. We are humans by habitual nature. One say, I am so and so. I am from America. I am from Japan. I am from India. I am from Kerala. I am from North India, and all these things. He is identifying himself with that. This is also true. But this is all habitual natures. You practiced it. And your name, when somebody asks, when somebody calls your name, you just stand up. How it happens? This is also with practice. From childhood, you practiced it, repeated it so many times. This is my name, this is my name, this is my name. So it became habit, and now you are one with that. So when somebody calls your name, you just stand up. This is all habitual nature. The habitual nature needs outside support. Now you could understand the difference. The habitual nature is not inherent. Habitual nature is practiced. So we are sadhakas by habit, by practice. So I took up to human level. You are human being, why you say? Because you feel it. From childhood you are feeling it, and the old society told you are a human being, you are not a monkey, you are not a cow, you are not a buffalo, you are human beings. So you identified it with us. Very simple. Why I say this is not inherent, it is not a real nature of you, because that is not there in deep sleep, that is all. You in deep sleep you are not human beings. In samadhi you are not human beings. In samadhi you are not man and woman. The division of sex is also not there. So these are all practiced natures. It's become nature by practice. Now you identify, you try to count all these habitual natures. Today's homework is this. It's a hard homework, but if you do that, you can realize what you are. So try to think what are my habitual natures. So one list you have to make. I can give you 2 days, because before we complete the vrittis, we can do that. It is a good analysis. And then, if you are very clear with the habitual natures, then the rest of the thing is your real nature. And what is rest? What is left over now? What you are experiencing in deep sleep. That is your real nature. There is no sex division, there is no thoughts, nothing. No ego, nothing. You don't know who are you. But you know that you exist, that you know I am conscious, that you know you are not limited being. You have no limitation in deep sleep. You are unlimited, all pervading. Let's try to understand this. When I say unlimited, you don't put any limit. When I say this, both, unlimited, if you want to understand unlimited, what is unlimited? How it is unlimited? You will put a limit there. Then try to understand. So, please don't put any limit. Don't think about that, that's all. If you think about the limitation, unlimited, what is unlimited? You will definitely put a limit. Because mind cannot hold something that is unlimited. Mind can only hold something limited. So immediately mind will take something and put the limitation there. Just opposite of that. And when you are thinking, you are want to know what is unlimited, now you will know what is limited. You cannot know what is unlimited by mind. But then what? You just try to experience what is there. That just to remember the experience. That is your true nature. You are untouched by all these problems and all these functions of outside world. There is no waking state, there is no dream state, there is no states at all. You are completely free of these stages and divisions. So that is your true nature. Now it happens, it is always there, then you experience it. Just to remember the experience. Experience is also there. You don't have to make experience there. Experience is still there because that experience is the essential nature of the self, so it cannot change. Like fire cannot change its heat. Only the problem is we are not aware about that experience. So that is our Swarupa. If you can stay on that, when I say stay on that, it means not always sleeping or not always in samadhi. Even when you are in waking state, cognitive state, you can still be aware about that state. That is why, that is the difference between samadhi and deep sleep. The cessation of thoughts are same in both the stages. In samadhi is also thoughtlessness, the state of thoughtlessness, and in deep sleep also the state of thoughtlessness. But the difference is, samadhi is a cognitive thoughtlessness, and deep sleep is uncognitive thoughtlessness. That is the difference. That is why we are practicing samadhi. We are practicing hard to reach that stage, because we want to enjoy that stage. You want to be aware about that experience. If something is very nice, but you are not aware about that, what is the benefit? What is the result? There is nothing. Okay, it is there, very good, but you are not getting direct experience of that, then there is no meaning for that. So that is why we have to practice samadhi and then get in this cognitive state of thoughtlessness. Cognitive, restrained, the state of samadhi. Okay. Now we have this drawing. Few words are there to understand more about the observer. Yesterday we understood the observed chitta. The chitta is this is the chitta. Conscious mind, subconscious mind, unconscious mind. This is seen. This is object. Now, here is the subject. Here in the last word you see the observer. Now this observer is here in different forms. So then when both are clear, what is seen and who is the seer, then both the points are clear, then you are really entering into Yoga Sutra level. The all discussion with all this what you see. So you can refer this paper again and again whenever it is needed. And now after this we will talk. Whatever we talk will be inside this or below this. This is the highest stage we already discussed in both the forms. So the object here is the manifestation of Prakriti. The subject here, the nature of the consciousness, conscience, we say. That is the reality of the nature of the consciousness. So conscience and consciousness is a little difference. So they use this word conscience. Conscience. So it means we say as witness, as sakshi, observer. Observer in its nature is beyond consciousness. I used the word the potentiality of consciousness, the potential state of consciousness. So this is the word we have to use to understand what it is. Now you see the graph as well as the note. The first word we use is drik, because in the sutra the Maharshi uses drashtuhu. Drashtuhu. Drashta. So drashta is the form of the consciousness, the seer. But in drashta there is an attribution. It is not in his pure nature. When the drashta is perceiving something, the seer is seeing something, we say seer as seer. Otherwise, seer is not always the seer. If seen is there, then he is the seer. Like we are seeing object, then we are seer. We are seers. Then, if you are not seeing, you are doing something else. You are doing an action with the hands, so you are a doer. One person is sometimes a cook, sometimes he is cleaning, then his work is different and the person is different. Driving a car, he is a driver. When he sees something, he is seer. When he reads something, he is reader. The same person, when he changes his actions, accordingly he changes his nature. He is identified with that. So when he cooks, he is cook. He is called cook. The same person is driving, he is driver. Now, he is not really cook, he is not really driver. Because of cooking, the action of cooking, he become cook. The cooking is attributed to him for a while. The same thing happens here also. The seeing is attributed to the seer. Actually, he is something else. But now he become a seer. So, drik, when we use this word, because we are going to pronounce this, after some time the sutra will come. Drik darshana shaktyor egatmata eva asmita. Something like this. So, drik means pure perceptivity. Simple perception. And drishti, you see the drishti there? Transliteration എഴുതേണ്ടതാണ്. Drishti, simple perception. Okay? That is we call drishti. And perceiver, drashta. This is the perceiver. Really what we say as drashta is there. In drashta, these two different variations. One is simple perception and another is pure perceptivity. Both are connected to drashta. Okay? So the perceiver and the perceptivity, pure perceptivity is there in perceiver, and simple perception is called drik. So these three words, we change the three words for the purpose. And then what is happening that is darshana, art of perceiving, act of perceiving. So that is called darshana. And then what is perceived is called object, that is drishya. We were talking about this chitta vrittis. These are drishya of the perceiver, drashta. Okay, it's very clear. These are the objects. This is the perceiver. So perceiver, as this form, he is taking the help of perceiving and the object. When there is object, he is a perceiver. If there is no object, he is without any action. That is we experience in deep sleep. There is no action. Then comes chit and chitti. This is again behind that. Now there is no drishya. Okay, no object. Then what is he? He is this. This is the true nature of the perceiver. So he is Chit Shakti, Chetana and Chaitanya and Chetan. We will explain it in next section because now time is over. This is the nature of the drashta. It cannot be directly known. That is why he used here the word drashta. Because while practicing the samadhi, you practice as drashta. Because now you are not realizing your true nature, you are a practitioner. That is why he uses the word, very knowingly he uses the word drashta there. Otherwise he could say any of this word. Because it is also the same. But he avoided it. Because here, from samprajñāda to asamprajñāda, when we move to samprajñāda to asamprajñāda, drashta is there. Because in samprajñāda, the drishyam was there. There was identification of object and the subject. So the feeling is there, still there. It is in practice. So he uses the word drashta, but really drashta has all these things. So everything is there in sutras in different places. So you have to note all this. This two chart is very important to study darshana here. Okay? So for this moment it is enough. Try to find some time and contemplate this point we discussed here. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudasyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om